call, all I could do was explain to them that my phone, Gemini AI, called them, and we both started to laugh and both stated, "That's scary."
That was Lavon Moody, whose phone called someone all on its own. She never touched it. The call was triggered by what her phone heard in the room. Welcome to Data Life. I am your host, Biodun Dare. We often talk about AI wars, big tech rivalries, and the billion-dollar innovations that shape the world. But today's story is personal. It's about the devices sitting right next to you, the ones that light up when you say, "Hey Siri," or "Okay Google," the ones that quietly listen, learn, and sometimes act without your permission. The real question is no longer if your devices are collecting data on you. It is who has access to it and how can you stop them? First, let's hear from Levon, whose story is one of many that expose how much our devices actually hear, not just our voices, but the entire environment around us.
Okay, I'm watching a movie on TV. My phone is on the arm of my sofa, and I'm sitting in a chair beside my sofa. A character on the movie I am watching said the word "somewhere" in their line. My phone replied, "I cannot find somewhere in your contacts." I have a Samsung phone and it has Gemini AI. I looked at my phone, didn't say a word, and then it said, "Okay, I will dial Three Girls and a Needle," which it did. I am still looking at my phone. The phone on the dial end is ringing, and then my phone hangs up. Then my phone starts to ring. I answer because I'm curious now, and it's someone from the Three Girls and a Needle saying, "Sorry, we missed your call." All I could do was explain to them that my phone, Gemini AI, called them, and we both started to laugh and both stated, "That's scary."
Have you ever had a moment like that? A smart assistant reacting to something you said or didn't say? Tell us in the comments. What just happened to Levon isn't an isolated glitch. It's a symptom of a much larger problem. Our homes are filling up with smart devices that constantly collect sound, location, and behavioral data. Welcome to the ambient computing era, where every moment is a data point, even silence. But not all listening is illegal. Some of it you've actually agreed to. Legal surveillance happens when you say yes without realizing what you've agreed to. Every time you accept those 40-page terms of service for your smart speaker or TV, you're giving the company permission to store recordings, track viewing habits, and analyze behavior. Amazon, Google, Samsung, and the rest of them all say it's for quality improvement. But that data can also be used for targeted ads, pricing, and even training voice models. Here's how cybersecurity expert Bruce Schneier describes it.
Your cell phone is actually an intimate tracking device. I mean, if you think about it, it knows where you are at all times. Right? It knows where you live, where you work. It knows when you wake up and when you go to sleep, right? Because that's when you check your phone, first and last. Right? You've each got a phone, so it knows who you sleep with. Right? But that's not why it exists. If the government said, you're required to carry a tracking device 24/7, we would all rebel. But we like carrying cell phones because of what it does for us.
That is the trade-off we live with: convenience in exchange for constant observation. But then there's the other side: illegal surveillance. The hidden apps, disguised microphones, or spyware that turns your phone into a spy camera. For just a few dollars, anyone can install tracking software that gives real-time access to your GPS, your messages, even your microphone. Imagine someone watching your every move through your own phone. The first is through active listening, and the devices could be smart speakers, smart TVs, and fitness trackers. These are the signs of the compromise: unexplained network data spikes, faint buzzing when silent. You could also have hidden cameras, and the devices used could be your alarm clock, smoke detectors, or USB chargers. The signs of compromise are tiny pinholes or glints in the dark. The third is a spyware, and the devices that could compromise you are your phones or laptops. The signs of compromise could include battery drain, device heating, and strange app behavior. So if your phone gets hot in your pocket or dies in an hour, don't just blame the battery. It might be running a hidden app that's watching and listening. So how do you fight back? You don't need to be a hacker. You just need to perform a privacy sweep, your own four-phase defense strategy. Phase 1: physical inspection. Turn off every sound, listen for faint hums or clicks. Check vents, tissue boxes, even that decorative clock near your bed. Hidden devices love hiding in plain sight. Phase 2: light detection. Turn off your lights, use your phone flashlight or camera to scan for reflections. That sharp glint could be a hidden lens. Phase 3: the digital search. Use a network scanner to see every device connected to your Wi-Fi. If you see anything suspiciously named or unrecognized, block it immediately. Phase 4: the nuclear option. If you find spyware, factory reset your phone or laptop. But here's the key: do not restore from backup. That backup might contain the same malware. Set the device up fresh like new. A famous cybersecurity analyst, Professor David Carroll, says if you treat every device as compromised, you'll never be caught off guard. Now, the news segment. The US Mint has announced that it will issue new American Innovation $1 coins in 2026, featuring 4 designs celebrating innovators who have shaped the nation's history, including Apple co-founder Steve Jobs. Jobs will represent California in the program, joining 3 other honorees from Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. The move marks one of the rare occasions that a modern tech visionary has been commemorated on US currency. According to the Mint, the collectible coins will go on sale in 2026 through its official website. In its quest to become the ultimate app for flexible work, Uber has announced a new pilot to allow its US drivers and couriers to earn extra money by performing micro-tasks to train AI models. These tasks include audio voice recording, capturing and uploading images, and submitting documents in certain languages. The move will position Uber's global army of freelance drivers and delivery workers to challenge established players like Scale AI and Amazon's Mechanical Turks. In addition to digital microtasks, Uber is also redesigning its trip offer cards, introducing a new heat map to direct drivers to high-demand areas and expanding its features to give women drivers more control over their rides. The recently rumored AI partnership between Spotify and the major record labels is now a reality. The streaming service announced that it is entering into an agreement with Sony Music Group, Universal Music Group, Warner Music Group, Merlin, and Believe to develop what it calls responsible AI products. Spotify didn't detail any specific products in the works, but said it was building a state-of-the-art generative AI research lab and product team focused on developing technologies that reflect its principles and create breakthrough experiences for fans and artists. As geopolitical tensions intensify between the US and China, tech giants Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are ramping up efforts to move production of their products and data centers outside of China, citing supply chain sources. In particular, Microsoft wants to have up to 80% of the components needed to make its Surface notebooks and tablets, as well as its data centers, manufactured outside of China as soon as 2026. The scope of the change is quite wide and includes components and assembly for the company's future notebooks and server products. Amazon Web Services, meanwhile, is considering buying fewer printed circuit boards for its AI data centers from its longtime supplier, SYE, while Google is pushing its suppliers to ramp up server production in Thailand, where it has already secured multiple partners for parts and components. The news follows a wave of retaliatory measures from both China and the US, who have taken turns to impose increasing tariffs on each other, tighten export controls on crucial components and resources, and restrict what tech can be sold. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has urged Nigerian fintech leaders to mark technology innovation with strong governance and consumer protection. Cardoso said they must uphold the integrity and trust of the country's financial system as innovation continues to reshape financial services. Speaking during a strategic session with fintech CEOs on the sidelines of the just concluded 2025 IMF World Bank annual meetings in Washington, Cardoso said the CBN remains firmly committed to fostering innovation, but warned that it must be matched by strong governance, consumer protection, and effective risk management. The session themed Shaping the Future of FinTech in Nigeria, Innovation, Inclusion, and Integrity brought together fintech founders, investors, regulators, and policy leaders from across the Nigerian financial ecosystem. 5 tech companies are spearheading a cumulative investment of $1 billion in data centers in Nigeria. The companies are Equinix Incorporated, Microsoft, MTN Nigeria, Rack Center, Airtel Nigeria, and Open Access Data Centers. The investment is designed to support artificial intelligence workloads and the continent's expanding online population. A data center is a specialized physical facility that houses critical computer systems and associated components. It also serves as a centralized hub where the digital operations of a business are stored and managed. Google's cutting-edge image generation and editing model, Nano Banana, has been used to generate over 5 billion images in the Gemini app. In a news statement made available to journalists, Google says it is now extending the Nano Banana to more Google products, including Google Search and Notebook LM. It says with this, users will be able to turn their notes and documents into narrated videos to create engaging presentations and overviews. It adds that in the weeks ahead, it will also bring the Nano Banana to Google Photos. We now move to the quiz segment of the show. Which of these everyday devices has been caught recording private conversations without the user's consent? A. Smart refrigerator. B. Smart TV. C. Wireless printer. D. Game console. Tell us the answer in the comment section. And that's all we have time for on Data Life this week. We talked about spying devices and how you can keep yourself safe in this episode. Remember, convenience without caution is an open door to surveillance. Kindly subscribe and follow this podcast for more stories that reveal the data behind daily life.